Uh, hello everybody. My name is DuAn Hung1. I'm from the School of Information and Communication Technology, Hanoi University of Science and Technology. Today I would like to introduce a lecture on the scalable cloud solutions on IaaS. So let's start. So this is the outline of this lecture. First, I will give an overview with the basic concept. Then I will give some notion, introduction to the IaaS, and then we focus on a very important feature of the IaaS, which is the scalability issues, and together with the scalability solutions provided to the previous issues, and then I will give some example on this structure. So let's start with the concept. What is IaaS? IaaS stands for Infrastructure as a Service, and it is a form of cloud computing that provides virtualized computing resources over the internet. IaaS is one of three main categories of cloud computing services alongside software as a service, what we call the SaaS, and platform as a service, what we call PaaS. So in an IaaS model, a third party provider hosts hardware, software, server, storage, and other infrastructure components on behalf of its users. So IaaS providers also host user application and handle tasks including system maintenance, backup, and resiliency planning. So in this case, you can see that it takes care of most of the very important things for you to running your application. So you don't need to care much about all the hardware, the software, the infrastructure below in order to run your program efficiently. And IaaS platforms also offer highly scalable resources that can be adjusted on demand. This makes IaaS well suited for workloads that are temporary, experimental, or change unexpectedly. So you can see that in this figure shows the improvement or the next frontier on demand solution for your business. So first, long time ago, we have mainframe. Then we move to the personal computers. Then we use client-server computing, what is still being used widely nowadays. And then we have web, and finally we have cloud. So the cloud, for instance, is a very good choice for the user to host to run the application.
Từ từ anh ơi. Alo.
Hello biết.
Thì tất nhiên là nói bị chập chờn rồi.
Alo. Anh cũng cảm giác hôm trước anh nói anh cảm giác nó vào ấy, còn hôm nay cảm giác như tiếng nó không vào ấy.
Anh nói thì ở đây anh sẽ hơi
Đúng rồi, hơi nghe, còn hôm nay không nghe. Alo. Được không? Có cần phải nói lại không?
Cái bạn ơi, em vừa vào thôi.
À.
Nói đi ạ.
Okay, so let's see what are the good things that make infrastructure as a service or IaaS become very popular nowadays. The first thing that is virtual. Virtual, it means that we don't care about the location, the physical location. The physical location and underlying infrastructure details are transparent to the users. So they even don't know where the server, where the underlying infrastructure located. The second thing is scalability. So this is very important because let's imagine that first in the first step, your application is quite small with a small number of users. In this case, you don't need a very strong server, very powerful server. However, if you prepare for a not powerful server, when your application grows up, you will have problem with the performance. With the increasing number of users, you need to replace or you need to and for strengthen your resources, and it can cost a lot. So with the scalability feature here, we are able to break complex workloads into pieces to be served across the incrementality expandable infrastructure. So the more tasks that you have, the more instances they can provide you in order to guarantee to ensure that the performance of your system. The next one is about the efficiency in this case. So the services oriented architecture for dynamic provisioning of shared computer resources. And with this mechanism, your application can be very efficient and it can handle multiple concurrent tasks at the same time. And another feature very important, which is flexibility, because it can serve you as from a different number of instances, so it can serve a variety of workload types, both for consumer and for commercial in this case. So okay, let's take a quick look on this. So it form, so the IaaS, shortly, we can say it shortly, it will form a cloud computing, and it provides virtually computing resources over the internet. It offers highly scalable resources that can be adjusted on demand. So with all the long description here, you can remember, you can keep in mind the main idea, the main concepts about the IaaS. And you can see that the services that it can provide, you have, I think, you have enough kind of services that allow you to run your application in very efficient way and flexible way. You can see like we can have the storage management, we can have database management, network management, server management, server provisioning, security management, application management, and monitoring, alerting, and notification. All of their features are very important and very necessary for your application in order to run it very efficiently. And okay, I will summarize about the essential characteristics which allow the cloud computing in general and the IaaS to become very popular nowadays, and it's also a good choice for you. It is about the scalability and elasticity, availability and reliability, manageability, interoperability, performance optimization, accessibility, and portability. So, concurrently, there are three types of IaaS cloud offerings. We have first is public IaaS cloud. In the public cloud, providers rent out hardware resources in multi-tenant method to the general public using virtualization technology. This allows multiple users to share the server resources. As the public cloud is a prime example of the cloud computing model. It's very easy to set up with highly scalable and elastic, where users will only pay for resources that they use. And this is very important. Like, okay, first, with the first version, you don't have many users, so you pay less. And then when the number of users increasing, you need more resources and we pay more. But it's very, very logic. The second type is the private IaaS cloud. The private cloud employs virtualization technology and delivers cloud computing services to a single organization. The services are provisioned privately and sit behind the firewalls managed by the individual business. And in this case, you don't need to share the resource with any other user or any other organizations. Servers and resources are specifically dedicated to the individual business and cannot be used by other users. Of course, when you have something private, you have the power, you have the performance, but of course you have to pay more. So the private cloud is best suited for the businesses that have large CapEx budgets and rely on their own data center professional and security experts who are needed to provide more control over the computing environments. Because in this case, you almost more or less you have to handle everything by yourself, about the privacy, about the security, about the performance. You know how to run it, you know how to handle when something wrong happens. And the third type, we have the hybrid IaaS cloud. A hybrid cloud is generally considered the conjoining of the physical and virtual infrastructure in a public or private cloud. For example, company may have option to manage some physical servers in a private cloud while outsourcing other server to public cloud. So in this case, you have both the private and the public, and of course, you have both the advantages and disadvantages of public and private cloud. Like for the private, you have the privacy, you can set up the security mechanism for yourself, but for the part that less important, you can use the public cloud that you can reduce the cost that you have to pay. So for the deployment models, we have several models here. We have first the private cloud. Of course, in this case, the cloud infrastructure is operated solely for an organization because it's private. So you don't have to share with anybody, and it cannot based on the third-party provider. It may manage by the organization or third party and may exist on premises or off premises in this case. We have the second deployment models, which is community cloud. So maybe instead of using something private, you can use a infrastructure what is shared by several organizations and supports a specific community that has shared the concerns. So you have the common objectives. You may work on the same area, on the same domain. So maybe you want to exchange the data. You have the same mission. You have the same security requirements, policy, or compliance considerations. So in this case, community cloud is a good choice for you. And we have also the public cloud. So it's similar to the, based on the concept, the definition of the public cloud, you can see that. So with a public cloud deployment model, the cloud infrastructure is made available to the general public, and it can be used by a large number of users or organizations. And finally, we have the hybrid cloud development model. It's some kind of combination between the private and the public. And you can, so it's a composition that you can choose which part can be deployed on the private and which part can be deployed on the public cloud. And for this, we have two dimensions that are used to classify the various deployment models for the cloud computing. So where the service is running on customer premises or in a service provider data center. And the second, which is the level access, it can be shared or it is dedicated. So here you can see we have four kinds of deployment models. We have community cloud, we have public cloud, we have private cloud, and we have some kind of hosted private cloud. So of course you can see that. For example, for the private cloud, location is based on the customer location and is dedicated. For the public cloud, it's some kind of shared resource, and is often the location often is on the service provider. So this is a figure to see you the different between the deployment models of different kind of cloud. So okay, after going through the concepts, the basic concepts of cloud and especially on the IaaS, let's go to the very important issue on the IaaS, which is the scalability. So what is cloud scalability? It is a ability to be scaled up to meet increasing demand. As a cloud advantage, so it is a cloud advantage. Cloud computing is scalable and easy way for user to access a large pool of virtualized resources that can be dynamically provisioned to adjust to a variable workload. But first, it is useful to define the scalability term and illustrate cloud scalability among three cloud services. The scalability can be defined in different ways. It can be defined as the ability of a particular system to fit a problem as the scope of that problem increases. So it can be the number of elements or objects, growing volumes of work, and or being susceptible to an enlargement. Also, in a different concept, different definition, we can define scalability of service is an amount of service lost without suffering significant degradation in relevant quality attributes. So the scalability enhanced by scalability assuring schemes such as adding various resources should be proportional to the cost to apply the schemes. So you can see we have some kind of different concepts, different definition for scalability. But we can focus, we can keep in mind that it is ability to be scaled up to meet the increasing demand. It can be the number of requests, it can be number of workloads, and etc. Okay, so what is the solution? Because I think the scalability is one of the most important feature of the IaaS. So you can see the definition. So how we can provide these features, these scalability features. Here we have three solutions. Scalability is the cloud ability to provide application, processes, and media to ever-growing numbers of users. So there are several methods to increase the scalability potential, which are the following. The first thing here is a vertical. The first solution here is a vertical scalability. So it can be achieved through the addition of extra hardware such as hard drivers, servers, CPU, etc. Why this is not entirely a solution in and of itself, it is necessary if a cloud network is to be able to accommodate ever-growing numbers of virtual machines. So this is very obvious solutions, because every time if you need more resources, if you need something more powerful, if you want to improve the performance, you always think about I will add more resources. I will add more the hardware to increase the computation capacity of my system. The second solution here is about the horizontal scalability, which is a method based on creating more access points within the current system. It isn't necessarily as effective as vertical scalability, however. But a horizontal scalability is really just a quick fix for a growing or expanding cloud. It also serves as a sort of buffer of vertical scalability. Horizontal scalability is intimately associated with the manner with which points of access are distributed across a network. And the third solution we can look at here is about multiple load balancers. So the idea is the integration of multiple load balancers into your system. What is probably the best solution for dealing with the scalability issues? There are many different forms of load balancer to choose from, like server farms, software, and even hardware that have been designed to handle and distribute increased traffic. So the client should be able to dynamically increase and decrease the amount of infrastructure resources in need. Because, when you use cloud, one of the things that you already can, they allow you to reduce a huge amount of work on how to deal with the problem of hardware, the problem of performance. And then you want all of that solutions can be done automatically. So for example, during a day, maybe at some moment of the day, I have high traffic. I have a high number of requests sent to my services. So in this case, I want the system, the infrastructure can increase the resources, the power of my infrastructure automatically. And a large amount of resources provisioning and deployment should be done in a short period of time, such as several hours or days. So this should be very quick, even less than that. System behavior should remain identical in small scale or large one. So for example, if I at some point I don't need a large resource, so I will reduce to a small scale, small number of resources. So in this case, the behavior, because the most important thing is user experience. I don't want the user to see that the difference when I use a small scale or large one. So it should be adapted, it should be adjusted automatically, but it's always have to guarantee the behavior of my system. So, how to approach? The question now is how to approach the scalability and elasticity in IaaS. For computation resources, we can dynamically create or terminate virtual machines for client on demand. So okay, so now for example, if I have some number of requests that can be served by only one instance, is okay. But when the number of requests increase, I will automatically dynamically create another instance in order to guarantee the performance, the response time of my request. So this should be done dynamically. And we also can integrate hypervisors among own physical machines to collaboratively control and manage on the virtual machines. And one good thing is that on the operation, in order to deal with their problems, can be transparent to the users. So users, they don't have to take care, they don't have to look into the detail to show all the problems if it have. For the storage resources, we also can dynamically allocate or deallocate virtual storage space for clients. So you can see that we can show most of the problems in a dynamic and automatic way. We also can integrate all the physical storage resources in the entire IaaS system. And for communication resources, we also can do it dynamically by connecting or disconnecting the linking state of virtual networks for client on demand. We also can divide dynamically the network request flow into different physical routers to maintain to guarantee that the response time, the performance can be good enough, can be quick enough for the users. For about the availability and reliability, so what we can say here that clients should be able to access computation resources without considering the possibility of the hardware failure. So this is very good features of the IaaS, because okay, when you can create or you can start dynamically a virtual instance, a virtual machine. In this case, if something wrong happened to an instance, to a resource, you can dynamically create or redirect the request to a new instance that which is that created in order to replace the failure one. The data stored in the IaaS cloud also should be able to be retrieved when needed without considering any natural disaster damage. And finally, the communication capability and capacity should be maintained without considering any physical equipment shortage. So okay, after going through on their the introduction, the concepts, the issues, and also some solutions, basic solution provided to their issues. We go to the last part of the lecture. I give an example here, like a very popular one. Many users using this IaaS, this cloud infrastructure, which is Amazon EC2. So Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, or we call it Amazon EC2, provides scalable computing capacity in the Amazon Web Services cloud. It's very powerful. It provides you the scalable GPU instances for high performance computing. And how about the price? The pricing for the Amazon EC2, when you sign up for the AWS, you can get started with Amazon EC2 for free using the AWS free tier. So you can start with something small, with some small application with free price or very low price to get familiar with this infrastructure. Amazon EC2 provides also the fluent purchasing options, for instance, like on-demand instances, so you don't need to pay anything with fixed amount. Every time you want something, you request something, you will pay for what you use. The reserve instances, this is the case that, okay, you want to guarantee that my application, my service can run very efficiently at all the time. You want to reserve some resources that your application can use at any time. So this is a second type, and the spot instances. So besides the Amazon EC2, you also can look at the Google Cloud, which is provided by Google. I think it's also a very good choice for you. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. So I hope that you can get some basic concepts about the cloud, about the IaaS, and the problem together with the solution provided to the problems. And I think it's a very good start for you to choose a cloud infrastructure and to try to deploy the application to see how it works, to see how it increase, how it grow up according to the demand, and how you have to pay for them. I think the price is very good for you to start with something small, because you don't have to pay much, but then it's easy to scale up your program in both the size of the application and the number of users. Thank you very much. Xong rồi.